Hello, so here we are outside the construction centre at Moreton Morrell College, and I'm joined by John Billings, who's a carpentry lecturer in the building here. John, tell us a bit more about what you've got here.
Okay, well these are the construction workshops. Inside we've got a workshop for carpentry and joinery and the brickwork workshop. Also inside we've got trade-specific classrooms for carpentry and brickwork. We've got our own IT room, so if students are working on assignments they can work on it within that room. And basically it means that we can deliver the whole syllabus in one place. They've got the toilet facilities here, the changing facilities, all their lockers, so everything is done all in one roof, under one roof.
That's brilliant. So we're going to go in and have a look at what there is now and talk a little bit more. So here we are inside the building now. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the range of courses that we offer here, John?
Okay, well we deliver City and Guilds qualifications. We do level 1, 2 and 3 carpentry and joinery, level 1, 2 and 3 brickwork. We also do deliver multi-skills, which is the area we're standing in now, which is a fantastic course where students get to have a go at painting and decorating, plumbing, plastering, tiling, a range of construction. And once they've completed that year, they've worked on their English and maths to try and get that level up a little bit higher. Then they can choose a trade-specific qualification to go on the following year.
Okay, and how do you assess the students in these different courses?
Well, it's all done on a blend of practical and theory. There are online tests, there's paper-based tests at the end of each unit, and of course the practical elements. So the students are tested throughout the year on different practical elements, and then they are awarded pass, merit and distinction, depending on the level of their work.
Okay, and what happens when you get really talented students then? Are you able to take them a bit further?
We stretch all of our students. We try and get the very best out of them. For instance, in this area now, all the timber that you can see here, this was students who finished their work fairly quickly. They can then move on to doing more difficult tasks, helping us make the workshops as best as they can be, working on charity projects, garden furniture, some jobs that are made to their design, which really stretches them creatively. Yeah, basically, whatever the students can achieve, we make them achieve the very best.
Brilliant, thank you. Okay, so here we are in the carpentry and joinery workshop. John, tell us what goes on in here then.
Okay, well predominantly this is the level 1 carpentry and joinery. So when people start the course, they do carpentry and joinery, and the difference between the two is like a joiner would make something like a staircase, whereas a carpenter would go out and fit that staircase. Like a carpenter would do cut roofing or truss roofing, whereas a joiner would do like making windows and making doors, okay?
Right.
So the first year is basically about them learning the hand skills, how to maintain the tools, how, as they go on through the year, how to progress on to power tools and the safe use of using them effectively. And then at the end of the first year, you would then decide which route you'd like to go down. Would you go down a joiner or a carpentry route? And then they are two quite different courses from that point.
Okay, that's great. And I guess you get some students who maybe come in having done a little bit of this before, maybe in school or at home, and some who have no experience at all. How do you make sure that they all get by and succeed?
Well, we like everyone to start at level 1. Sometimes if it's evening courses and they've had experience on site already or in a workshop already, then we let them go straight on to level 2. But generally, we let everyone go on to level 1. Within those groups then you will have a very diverse number of students with some specific needs, but we have an excellent support staff. We have learning support within the workshops and the classrooms. We have a personal learning advisor that can guide them and help them to complete their assignments on the best strategies to go about making sure that they don't fall behind. And basically we support them in every way we can to make sure that everyone is going to achieve.
Brilliant, thank you. Okay, we're going to head on into one of the next workshops and see what we find there. After you. Now we've just come into the machine shop. John's going to explain to us a little bit about what goes on in here then.
Okay, so as we mentioned, if you choose after level 1 that you want to go into joinery, you will then be making products such as stairs, doors and windows, and you'll be using machines like the machines that we can see now. Now, this is This is as good as any modern joinery machine shop, really. You could produce anything in here that you could do in industry. Okay, so the students are very lucky that they've got this level of equipment to work on.
Brilliant.
Obviously, they are heavily supervised, and the training is to a high level before they are ever left alone with the machines. But yeah, they produce some fantastic products by the end of the year.
Brilliant. And just thinking actually about equipment, whether it's fixed equipment like these or the tools that you might be using on site, how do you make sure that students are able to keep up to date with changing technology?
Well, we have got very strong links within the industry, such as ECA Toolfast. We work alongside companies like that to provide in-house training. So the likes of Trend or Bosch will actually come to us. They'll do demonstrations with the students on the safe use and effective use of the latest equipment. Also, throughout the year, we arrange trips. So like the NEC, or like this year we went to DeWalt, where we actually get to meet the people who design the tools themselves. Some of those tools weren't even on the market yet, but the students actually got to test them, got to use them in a real life environment, and it just gives them that industry experience and confidence so that when they come back into college, they can produce a high level of work.
Brilliant. And that means that, of course, the students going out from here are ones who are trained on the latest equipment that's out there on the market. So let's head on from the machine shop now into one of the carpentry workshops. So we're in a fantastic work environment here. This is the carpentry workshop. John, which students are working in here and what do they do?
Well, we have a variety of students in here, but predominantly it's the level 2 full-time and the level 2 apprentices. So they get given a bay each where they can work on stud work, door linings, hanging doors, fitting kitchens, boxing in, basically anything that you would carry out as a carpenter. Okay, it's not just in a bay, they get to move around, they work on different jigs for, say, skirting or truss roofing, and we adapt the environment throughout the year depending on where the students are.
Right.
We've got a high number of students this year and it's looking very promising for next year, especially with the apprentices, and there's a lot of employers at the moment who are taking on the next generation of tradespeople.
Brilliant. So if I was, say, a full-time student, so I hadn't been taken straight on into an apprenticeship to learn to be a carpenter, how do I get work experience to help me get a job at the end of my course?
Well, in brickwork, carpentry, joinery, whatever course you're doing, as a department, we help you find placements, and that's been very successful this year. We've got a number of the level 2s and level 3s who have worked with local companies to gain work experience. We've had some great success stories working with LJ Construction, who are a large firm, and they take on a large number of subcontract carpenters. Our students have gone out working with them and had different levels of training, introduced to the industry itself, and then some of those students have shown promise, which has actually led on to employment. So for us, that's fantastic to see the full-time learners gaining a job at the end of their work experience. And like I say, there's been a high number of them this year.
That's really positive. Thanks for that, John. So we're going to head away from carpentry and joinery now, round the corner into the workshops for bricklaying. Well, you can see that we've come now into the bricklaying workshops, and what a massive space this is here, John. An awful lot going on, a lot of different skill levels. Can you talk us through the different bits that are in here?
Well, we do need this space. We've got high numbers in bricklaying. Over there, that's the level 1 full-time diploma course. Okay. And then going through to the level 2 evening course, which we've got good numbers this year, and it's looking like that's going to be repeated come September. Level 2 full-time, and as you can see, some of the more complicated jobs in this area are the level 3 and apprentice level 2s. We've also got jobs such as this, which aren't part of the syllabus, but the brickwork lecturers really pride themselves in the fact that they can push their students to the maximum, really to push their skills to a high level.
I know it's absolutely fantastic work that you've got going on here. When I'm looking at stuff like this, John, I'm thinking there's going to be some competition winners somewhere in this department, am I right?
Yeah, as a department, we put our students in for as many competitions as we can. In brickwork, this year has been fantastic. They did the national finals of the Guild of Bricklayers, where they came first and second in the juniors and got first place in the seniors, which is great for the students. It's great to have on their CV, and it's great for us as a department.
Yeah.
We also have had a lot of success historically and recently with skill build, where we have gained a number of first places in a different categories.
That's absolutely wonderful. And if I'm not mistaken, the department itself has actually been put forward for an award this year too.
Yep.
Was that the Midland Insider Residential Property Awards? Yeah,
we were put forward to that. So we just had to do a write-up and explain what we did as a department, what we can provide, what facilities we've got here. And as you can see, we've got a high level of facilities and equipment. Thankfully we've been shortlisted, so hopefully we win that in October.
Fingers crossed from all of us here. We're just going to head on finally to one of the classrooms, just so that you can see that it's not all workshops, but there is theory work that goes on as well in the background. Let's head upstairs. So we're in the classroom now, and we're going to just think about what happens at the end of the course. John, it's all very well, all these full-time students coming through and gaining all the skills with you here, but what are the progression rates like? Are the students actually going on and getting jobs at the end? Yes, they are. A number of our level 2, level 3 students are already in employment while they're with us, so they work part-time. And the majority of them, when they leave us, are leaving to go into the industry. So we've got a high number of apprentices, but then a high number of full-timers that are going into the industry doing some sort of job. Okay, there's a national shortage of tradespeople. Right. So if you learn these skills, you are going to be sought after when you go into the market, basically. With the government having this emphasis on build, there are going to be lots of jobs out there, and not necessarily the people with the skills to do it. Okay, so I guess in summary then, while we've been going around the construction centre here at Moreton Morrell College, what we've seen is that we've got a team of very talented teaching staff who are able to deliver the skills that the students need. We've seen fantastic facilities and equipment here, so the students are learning on what's actually used in industry, and you've said you're getting the providers of that equipment coming in to train our students. The students are stretched in what they do. They're very well supported by our staff, and we put them in for competitions to help really drive their skills every year, so that ultimately they're going out and they're all getting jobs. Yeah, that's it. I guess, what more reasons could you want for coming to study one of the construction courses here at Moreton Morrell College?